ABC's Wide World of Sports brings you the United States Figure Skating Championships, presented by Diet Coke and NutraSweet. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Al Michaels, and welcome to the Orlando Arena in Orlando, Florida, where a large and spirited crowd has gathered. It's always exciting to come to the United States Figure Skating Championships, but especially so every fourth year, an Olympic year. And with the Olympics beginning in less than a month in Albertville, France, of course, today, so much is at stake for so many of America's premier skaters. We have a tremendous day and night of competition coming your way. 90 minutes this afternoon, and then 2 hours tonight. In prime time tonight at 9 Eastern and Pacific and 8 Central, you will see the ladies' final. And you will see Krista Yamaguchi, who skated brilliantly last night and is the leader going into this phase of the competition. You'll also see last year's champion Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan, among others. But first, this afternoon, over the next 90 minutes on Wide World, we'll take a look back at last night's ice dancing championship. We will have the men's championship coming your way shortly, and you will see that live. We will preview tonight's ladies' championship, and we will detail the Olympic selection dilemma. What do we mean by that? Well, it revolves around one man. One of America's premier male skaters is Todd Eldredge. He won the national championship in 1990 in Salt Lake City. He then won it again in 1991 in Minneapolis. He would have been favored to win it again, or at least co-favored with Christopher Bowman here this year. But he has withdrawn because of a back injury. So his status in terms of making the Olympic team is in doubt. Now, what does the International Committee look for in terms of selecting the three men who will go to France? Well, they will factor in these championships the results of what happens here. It's worth 75% in terms of this overall formula. Last year's championships are worth just 5%. The 1991 Worlds, 10%. The Olympic Festival held last summer in Los Angeles, 5%, and other international events are worth 5%. But take a look at this exception. This is in the rule book. In the event of illness or injury to a world medalist of the previous year, and that includes Eldredge, who finished third in Munich last March, a skater placing in the top three of the current nationals could possibly be displaced by another skater. So Todd Eldredge today is very much a man on the bubble. And earlier this afternoon, Eldredge spoke with our Julie Moran.
Todd, if you could lobby the committee today for their vote, what would you tell them?
Well, I'd tell them, I'd hope they'd take into consideration the fact that last year I was third at Worlds, and allowing three men to go to the Olympics, and just my past track record of 2 national championships and third at Worlds.
Given your credentials, are you optimistic?
Well, I have to stay optimistic. You know, I can't be too overconfident that they'll give it to me, and I can't say, well, no, they won't. You know, I've got to say, well, hopefully they'll look at this and say, okay.
How hard is it to sit and watch the other skaters? It's got to be difficult.
Yeah, it is. You know, I was sitting up in the stands yesterday for the original program, and that was hard to take, you know, just sitting there. I wanted to get out and do what I could and skate, and you know, it just made it kind of a funny feeling.
If you get the vote, how will you prepare, and will you be ready?
Well, with talking to my doctor in Boston, I feel that he thinks that I should be ready within about 2 weeks, back into full training, and you know, with therapy and exercises.
Quite clearly, a lot is going on the ice and off the ice as well today, and we'll detail it as we move along. Well, coming up shortly will be the men's final, and yesterday the men skated their original programs, and that is worth 1/3 of the overall total score. Christopher Bowman was best of all. He is the leader. Mark Mitchell second. Scott Davis skating surprisingly well yesterday is third. Paul Wiley, a contender for the Olympic team, is fourth, so he has ground to make up, and Michael Chack is fifth. We'll see all of them today in this order. Wiley first, then Bowman second, and Bowman will be putting the pressure on Mitchell, Davis, and Chack. Yesterday, the original programs were skated here at the Orlando Arena. Let's go back and have a look at the one skated by Christopher Bowman, as Dick Button and I called it. The short program now for 24-year-old Christopher Bowman of Los Angeles. You never know what you're going to get. He was 7th in the 1988 Olympic Games. He was the national champion at 89. He was 2nd in the 1991 U.S. Nationals after missing the 90 nationals because of an injury. Christopher Bowman.
This first move will make the difference between an ordinary technical merit program and a difficult program, and that is whether he chooses to do a triple axel or a triple Lutz. And it's going to be a triple Lutz. Combination, triple Lutz, triple toe loop. Excellent combination without the difficulty of a triple axel load. Flip. Very nice. Combination spin. Axel. Footwork, rather simple moves, and a final move, a death drop. A good all-around program, not great, but a very good one.
And as it turned out, the best of all, because he is the leader as we get set for the free skating portion of the men's competition coming up shortly. But when we come back, we'll take a look back at last night's ice dancing championship.
Diet Coke with 100% NutraSweet. You will drink it just for the taste. By Delta Airlines, we love to fly and it shows. And by Tums, the sodium-free antacid that's rich in calcium.
We're back at the Orlando Arena, live coverage of the men's final coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's have a look back at what took place here last night. They held the ice dancing competition, and here were the standings going into the final phase of the competition. The free dance, worth 50% of the overall score. April Sargent Thomas and her partner Russ Witherby were leading. Rachel Mayer and Peter Breen had done shockingly well. They were 6th in the Nationals last year, 2nd after the original dance coming into last night's phase. But Elizabeth Punselin and Jared Swallow, the defending champions, were only 3rd. Punselin and Swallow skated a very nice free program, but the scores were not particularly high, and that really opened the door as we take a look back at the performance last night by the couple that came into the free skate in 2nd place, Rachel Mayer and Peter Breen. Rachel Mayer, 18 years old, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Peter Breen, 22, from Brockton, Massachusetts. These two skating together for 4.5 years.
Now, this is a very traditional ice dance. The music, Dr. Zhivago. It clearly represents the more traditional aspect of ice dancing. Ice dancing began as a development of ballroom dancing. Since then, the world of ice dancing has become rather confused. It's not quite sure whether it should be a folk dance, a ballroom dance, a ballet dance, an abstract dance, a story dance, a la Torval and Dean in their Bolero performances, Mack and Mabel and Barnum. It's really all over the lot now. This dance that we're watching, however, clearly represents the most traditional and original form of ice dancing, that of ballroom dancing on ice. That mistake right there is going to be very costly to this couple, particularly in view of the fact that this is not a great free dance. It is not being terribly well performed.
Peter Breen, who skated so well in the compulsory phase of this competition, again second after the original set pattern dance. And it would be shocking, in a sense, for them to make the Olympic team, and they're on the verge of doing so. Last year, they were 6th in the nationals.
Well, it's well known in the world of ice dancing that people don't change places quickly.
There's the performance of Rachel Mayer and Peter Breen. And we'll be back in a moment to look at their scores. Mayer and Breen, there's 1.54 and 2.57s, and the others 5.5 and 5.6.
And they are very nice marks. I certainly may be proven wrong on this score.
Style.
The other set of marks are higher, ranging from 5.5 through 5.8, and those marks are good enough to move Mayer and Breen into first place, and so they can finish no worse than second. They have just won a trip to the Olympics. April Sergeant Thomas and Russ Witherby are the leaders in ice dancing after the original set pattern phase of the competition. Last year they were in a similar position, but dropped to second after the free dance. This year they've come to Orlando with the top spot in mind. Here's a closer look at this couple with Julie Moran.
When April Sargent and Russ Witherby finished third at the '88 Nationals, they put their Olympic dreams on hold. But they figured their time, '92, would come. But 4 years later, they're still looking for their first national title, after finishing second for the third straight time in '91.
The best thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah, it really was.
We made a big change, and we moved to Toronto in June and started with a new coach and different choreographers and just did everything different, and it's been great for us.
It's a miracle they're here at all. April underwent emergency surgery on December 21st to stop internal bleeding that was caused by a ruptured cyst. A normal recovery period of 4 to 6 weeks would have ended their Olympic bid.
I don't feel sick anymore. I had to keep reminding myself so that I'm careful. When I was in the hospital just out of surgery, I didn't think that I would be here, and I think both of us were dealing with the fact that, okay, we're not going to go to nationals, we're not going to make the team, and we were devastated.
April's parents have watched their daughter's every move this week, as has her husband of 4 months, Jonathan Thomas.
Each day I add a little bit more, and it's proved to be the right thing to do, because we feel good now.
This couple, April Sargent Thomas, and she skated under the name April Sargent for years and was married within the past year. Her partner, Russ Witherby. April is 23 years old from Ogdensburg, New York. Witherby is from Cincinnati. He is 29. They were in first place after the original set pattern dance, and again have to finish either first or second to win a trip to Albertville next month.
This entire number is one designed to show beautiful skating, a spiritual influence. It's intended to be easy, laid back and reserved, and to build gradually through the whole number. At least one good effect came out of her surgery, and that was the loss of some 7 pounds to April Sargent Thomas. It certainly looks good in the line that she's creating here in this ice dance.
But she also has to hope it didn't sap too much of her strength, because that surgery took place just 3 weeks ago.
She's been very careful. The difference in their ice dancing this year from last year has been almost a 360-degree change. This midnight run, the blues movement, just first rate. These movements just terrific.
Said in the piece, nothing was going to stop her on their way to the Olympics, and they are skating like it. Sargent Thomas and Witherby, a pair that has finished second in each of the last 3 national championships.
Well,
they
you
won
know,
it all
it
in
was
'92.
It was easy, it was laid back, it was reserved, and it was lovely to watch.
Their marks when we come back. For April, Sergeant Thomas and Russ Witherby range from 5.5 through 5.8.
And those look pretty nice, pretty nice. It was an elegant program, and it was just a charming development of ice dancing, the thought and the concept behind it.
And the crowd enjoyed it very much, and this couple will enjoy their marks for composition and style, 5.6 through 5.8, because those marks are good enough to have won for them the 1992 National Championship. A look at the final and official results in ice dancing. April Sergeant Thomas and Russ Witherby finished first in a stunning upset. Rachel Mayer and Peter Breen wind up second. Those two couples will be going to Albertville and the 1992 Winter Olympics. Last year's champions, Punselin and Swallow, finished third. And a look at some of the others in the ice dancing competition here in Orlando, Florida. Let's meet the national champions with Julie Moran.
First of all, congratulations. And April, did you have any concerns about skating so soon after surgery?
All week long practice has been going so well that I kind of forgot about the last 2 weeks, and getting ready tonight I had a little twinge of nerves thinking about it, but I just blocked it out and it felt fine.
Russ, as her partner, you must have had great concerns. Tell us about what you were feeling when she was going through her difficulties.
Well, you know, through the training prior to this competition, we really tried to be as focused as we could the whole time and just keep ourselves on an even keel each day and just take it step by step, and that's what really got us through this.
Congratulations and best of luck in Albertville.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All that taking place last night. Now we are back live at the Orlando Arena, Orlando, Florida. The U.S. Figure Skating Championships are continuing, of course, coming up very shortly, the men's finals. But right now it's time for an overview, and who better to provide that than Jack Whitaker. Hi, Jack.
Thank you very much, Al. The United States Figure Skating Association has a very good rule, I think, in choosing their Olympic teams. They take pains not to call these national championships in Olympic years Olympic tryouts. They reserve the right for a committee to make the selection after the competition. This is so much better than other sports where you must compete on the weekend of the trials or you don't make the team. And we have lost many world-class athletes because they've been injured at the time of the trials. But the committee selection process has its own pitfalls, which we may see here this weekend. Most people think they will select Eldridge, leaving just 2 other skaters to choose. If form holds up, the top 3 finishers in the men's competition this afternoon will be Wiley, Mitchell, and Bowman. Wiley and Mitchell are sentimental favorites. Chris Bowman is one of the more interesting skaters to come to the scene since Dick Button soared over the ice at San Moritz. He is an undisciplined athlete in a most disciplined sport, a man who skates faster off the ice than on the ice, and whose image is something less, perhaps, than the USFSA would like. But when he's on his edges, he can raise the audience. He plays the crowd like Jimmy Connors at the U.S. Open. And at these moments, he is truly the Prince of Glides. So there's a lot going on here, and great pressure will be brought to bear on the selection committee. Let's hope they vote without political or personality considerations, because the object of all this exercise is to send our 3 best skaters to the Olympics. Al?
Thank you, Jack. Perfectly put. The women, a simpler matter. As you take a look there at the top 3, Yamaguchi, Harding, Kerrigan, and a reminder, tonight, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships continue, 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central, the women's final. Nancy Kerrigan yesterday, in her original program, skated a very clean program. She is second. If anybody stole yesterday's show, it was Christy Yamaguchi. She is in first place as we prepare for the free skating portion tonight. And last year's champion, Tanya Harding, had problems. She fell in practice yesterday. She fell coming out of her triple axel last night. And then this afternoon at about 1:30, practicing that same move, she fell again. So an interesting story developing tonight, the women's finals. With me, of course, is Peggy Fleming, the 1968 Olympic champion, our longtime analyst for women's figure skating. What's the latest as far as the women are concerned, Peggy?
Well, I talked to Tanya's coach, Dodie Teachman, last night after the performance about her ankle, and they felt at that time she would be fine. Meanwhile, at practice today, as you saw, it does seem there's more of a problem. And they have made some adjustments to her program, but she still plans to do that triple axel. Remember, it's her injured right foot she'll be landing on in every jump. Tonight, we can expect a fierce and exciting competition. Remember, although Christy is skating with the calmness and confidence of a world champion, she has never won that national singles title. Quietly, Nancy Kerrigan finds herself in a position not only to compete for a spot on the Olympic team, but has a shot to win the gold tonight.
A preview of the women's competition, but at hand, next, the men's championship when we come back to Orlando. Live again in Orlando, Florida. Here are the men's standings after they skated their original programs yesterday. Christopher Bowman, the leader. Mark Mitchell, second. Scott Davis, a surprise, is third. Paul Wiley did not skate well yesterday, fourth. And Michael Chak, fifth. Now, they will skate in this order. We will see all of these men live. It'll be Wiley first, then Bowman, then Mark Mitchell, followed by Scott Davis and Michael Chak. Well, you know, we couldn't do figure skating without a Zamboni, and we can't do it without Dick Button now in his 31st year as ABC's figure skating analyst. Let's talk about these competitors. First, Paul Wiley, Dick.
Well, Paul Wiley is very simply the world's greatest stylist on the ice today, but the question very simply is whether he can perform his triples in the heat of competition. It's up to him now to prove that he can.
He is fourth after the original program, and another man we'll have to keep an eye out on is a fellow who seems to be improving quite steadily, and that's Mark Mitchell.
Well, Mark Mitchell is terrific. He's both elegant and athletic. He has all the best of the triples and a good style and a good sense of music. The question is, can he be better than just good? Can he be outstanding?
Christopher Bowman.
Well, Christopher Bowman, as everyone knows, he's been Peck's bad boy. This week he's been wild in the press room, but conservative on the ice, progressing very carefully from day to day. My bet is that he'll play his performance sedately. That is, if anything he ever does can ever be considered sedate.
He was pretty sedate yesterday. Let's take a look, Dick, at today's program elements for Christopher Bowman.
Well, part of the quality of sedateness and conservativeness is right there at the beginning. You see he has planned a triple axel double toe combination. It is quite possible that that will be a double axel. He may elect to do that. If that is the case, he will be the only skater without a triple axel.
The leader, Christopher Bowman. He's always good for a feature piece. Here's this year's version. When Olympic champion Brian Boitano turned pro in 1988, Christopher Bowman was his heir apparent. Bowman had charisma. Bowman had ability. But
I felt that he could have been one of the greatest male figure skaters that ever lived. He has a movie star look. He has a wonderful body. You know, he interprets music well. He moves well. It seems to all be there, except the drive and the focus to achieve that.
Bowman is now training again in Southern California, trying to salvage his fleeting hopes for an Olympic medal. He has yet to win the world title and has had more coaches than national titles. His 17-year relationship with Carol ended in 1990, while his 16-month tenure with Tyler Cranston and Ellen Burka ended this fall, a month after he incurred injuries in what he described as an attempted robbery. His latest move was to return home and train with noted pairs coach John Nix.
I am difficult to coach. If I really feel strongly about something, I'm very kind of thick-headed, because I really, like I said, skate with my heart, not with my head, and that is not exactly the approach, the angle at which the coach is cutting at.
Bowman is a full-fledged contradiction, a skater who claims to be serious about his work on the ice, but who seems more intent on enjoying life away from it. To Frank Carroll and many others, he appears to be satisfied with being Bowman the showman, rather than Bowman the Olympic champion.
What makes me sad is that I don't think they'll say about him that he was one of the greats of the sport, which I think he could have been, you know, if he really put his whole heart and soul and dedication into it.
What I am is what I am, and that's all there is to it.
As always, at the center of things, at the center of controversy, and he hopes to be at the centerpiece of the platform when they award the medals for the national championship a little later.
I think what you're going to see today is, for him, a very sedate performance, a very low-key performance. The important thing that he's trying to show is the very fact that he is capable of being responsible and reserved. That's what John Nix is drilling into him.
Again, he will be skating second. First up will be Paul Wiley. And if you joined us late, once again, let me mention Todd Eldridge, the two-time defending national champion, withdrawing because of a back injury. It is still possible he could be named to the Olympic team. We will not know until, well, perhaps 25 after 6, after we are off the air this afternoon. The committee will meet. They will take his plight into consideration, and we will see. Meanwhile, first things first, Paul Wiley, fourth after his original program, and he said yesterday he was very disappointed with the way he skated.
An extremely popular young man, a superb stylist. The line, the elegance, the music is first rate. Here, that takes energy. This a triple axel, 3.5 revolutions, full revolution, but a step out on the end. And I've seen him perform that perfectly so many times in practice. This a triple Lutz combination. Again, an off-angle landing.
Could be a milestone performance for 27-year-old Paul Wiley. He's indicated he is going to retire. He is the elder statesman of the men's division. An Olympian in 1988, he finished 10th in Calgary.
His move at triple Salchow. That was nice.
Florida. He graduated from Harvard University last spring, and a man who has finished in the top 5 in the Nationals now for 9 consecutive years.
He's performing to Henry V. The soundtrack from the movie. Was a second double axel. Again, he fell out of it. a wonderful skater. Strength, character, line, musical interpretation, and an almost fatal flaw for missing the important jumps and leaving them unclean. Look at these marvelous, marvelous combinations. Very, very good fast spin. A popular young skater, but with those mistakes, he will just have to be able to hold on by the skin of his teeth if he's going to make a berth on the Olympic team.
Paul Wiley's marks when we come back.
And this is slow motion of that triple axel. Good height, tight, neat legs, but just the inability to hold it, to check, and to fall out of it properly.
Meanwhile, his pal Nancy Kerrigan, who'll skate tonight for an Olympic berth, looking on from the stands. She trains with Paul. And
not happy for her friend.
Can't bear to watch as the marks come up. Technical merit 5.6 through 5.8.
Had he held on to those jumps, that's the fatal flaw in his skating. He's just not been able to do it at this moment. If he had held on to them, those would have been sixes, right at 5.9s or 6s. What a pity. He is such a wonderful influence and such a wonderful skater in every way.
In figure skating, 6 is a perfect mark. For artistic impression, his marks are all 5.7s and 5.8s. And let's find out what he thinks as we go to Julie Moran. Julie?
Paul, should you not make this Olympic team, do you feel in any way these last 4 years of hard work have been a waste of time?
Sometimes I wonder, but you know, nothing in your life happens for an accident. Nothing's a waste of time.
Best of luck. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
So Paul Wiley in what, well, could be the final big performance of his career. He's indicated that he's going to get on with his life at the age of 27 after several years of big-time competition. Now, Christopher Bowman, who won the men's national title in '89, hurt in '90. Second last year in the Nationals to Eldridge, and the leader after yesterday's original program.
The triple, let's jump. That was nice. And now is the moment when he does a triple axel combination, should he elect to do it. There's been some question about it. If he doesn't, he'll be the only man not to do a triple axel, and yes, it looks like he will. Nope, it was a double, and it was a single double instead of a combination, all of which he is free to do. It just didn't give him the extra added content that would have been nice to see.
Is he skating conservatively by design, Dick?
Oh, I'm sure he is. I think the way he's elected to go at this number is strictly to prove that he himself can be conservative and responsible. Look at this. Triple combination. He's got to overcome his own public persona. certainly is conservative.
Well skated.
Very nicely skated so far. Not a great deal of speed.
We'll find that camera.
Yes. It breaks the mood of what he's doing. Final combination, a triple flip, double toe loop. And of course now he's letting go. Oh dear.
All in all, a more mature and relatively mellower Christopher Bowman.
What can I tell you? What can I tell you?
The marks next.
What did I...
Back live, the marks coming up for technical merit for Christopher Bowman, and they are excellent. All 5.8s and 5.9s.
The reason they're not better is that he did not do his triple axel. Probably the only major world-class skater in the world today who will not at least attempt a triple axel.
Okay.
He played a very conservative program. Very sedate, very laid back.
But good enough to get him to Albertville, because his marks here range from 5.7 through 5.9, mainly 5.8s and 5.9s. And let's go to Julie.
Christopher, you skated somewhat conservatively tonight. You didn't have the triple axel. Did that have anything to do with Todd withdrawing?
No, not at all. My coach, John Nix, decided that that was not the best thing to do for me right here, right now. It's appropriate with the event and appropriate with how I am skating. And we don't want to peak right now. We want to peak in Albertville. This is a stepping stone for us and a challenge, and we're going to meet it head on.
Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Well, you saw John Nix, who said yesterday, I think having Bowman follow coaching instructions for 2 minutes and 40 seconds is the most remarkable achievement of my 31 years of coaching. And he followed them today as well, as we look at Mark Mitchell skating for a spot on the Olympic team, second to Bowman after yesterday's original program. An up-and-comer Mark Mitchell.
Combination, a triple axel combination with a double toe loop. Here it is. Nice, very clean, very neat. He elected not to do the double toe. Of course, that doesn't mean take anything off one way or the other. Flip, triple toe, and that fallout is just what he doesn't need at this point. All three spots on this Olympic team are open. Jump.
Mitchell trying to earn a spot on the Olympic team. 23 years old, from Hamden, Connecticut, but he's been living in the Boston area for the last 5 years, so he could train with his coach, Ronna Gladstone.
The music is On the Waterfront, Leonard Bernstein. Straightforward positions. There's nothing phony about the style of this young man.
Mark Mitchell, second place after the original program, but will he be in first or second at the end of this program? Doubtful that he can turn in a better performance in terms of marks than Bowman. Can he stay ahead of Paul Wiley, though? That could be the critical factor.
Oh, yes, he can. Yes, he can possibly, because he has completed a triple axel, and that does count for something in this competition. But he needs this. Final scratch spin. Very neat, clean performance. One glitch in the early part of the program. Otherwise, very presentable.
Mark Mitchell.
And this is slow motion of that triple axel. Look at the step up. Nice tight legs, good line, good landing position. That was very nice. It should count for something.
That taking place inside the arena. Across from the arena is that hotel, and in that hotel right now, watching this telecast live, is Todd Eldridge, the two-time defending champion. Will he make the Olympic team? It's in the hands of a committee of the U.S. Figure Skating Association for technical merit, as Mitchell and his coach, Ronna Gladstone, look on, 5.6s through 5.8s.
And you can't, it's really hard to tell whether these were higher or lower than Chris Bowman.
They were quite similar in technical merit to Paul Wiley, with Bowman leading, Wiley second now overall. And here come the marks for artistic impression. A low of 5.6 up to a high of 5.9. Not good enough to move him past Wiley. He is third behind Bowman and Wiley. So he is in a most precarious position, because normally the top three would make it to the Olympics as we look at the next skater, Scott Davis, but because of the Eldridge factor, perhaps only the top two plus Eldridge will go. So Mark Mitchell right now in a most precarious position. Scott Davis, meanwhile, cannot be discounted. He is third after the original program. He's just 19 years old, from Great Falls, Montana. And he has been training in Colorado Springs.
And of course, it's moments like this where sometimes superstars emerge. Triple loop. Triple Lutz combination, double Lutz, double toe loop. He needs every triple now. And that kind of a fall finishes the story for him right at this point.
Well, he did accomplish one thing he set out to do. He told us earlier this week his first goal was to appear live on Wide World of Sports Saturday. He made that.
Well, he's a terrific skater. When I said that it finished him, I meant it finished him as vis-a-vis at birth on the Olympic team or a medal in this championship. He's a young man with a lot of style, a lot of sensitivity in his skating, and excellent, excellent jumps. Triple axel. Ah, very nice. That he left out of earlier.
Scott Davis, just 19. We'll be hearing a lot more from him, I'm sure, in the future. The national champion in the junior ranks last year. And unlike previous years, he won't have to wait that long necessarily to appear in the Olympics because they'll take place again in 1994 in Norway.
Bad moment. Performance of a talented and inexperienced young competitor. I think he can go a long way, though.
Scott Davis from Great Falls, Montana. His father, a high school football coach. There, of course, is the great former skater Debbie Thomas.
Hey, it's all right. Keep going.
She looks on, as do so many other former greats. Dorothy Hamill among those looking on today at the Orlando Arena as these championships have come to the Sun Belt for the first time in 10 years. The last time they were held in a warm weather site, 1981 in San Diego. Peter Carruthers, who along with his sister Kitty won medals at the Sarajevo Olympics in '84.
That was his wife, though, sitting with him.
Oh, yeah, right. Here's Scott Davis and Kathy Casey, his coach. As the marks for technical merit come up, ranging from 5.4 through 5.7.
And appreciably lower. I think you'll find that there was some space also in the artistic mark. The program got a little unbalanced at the end.
Second set of marks for composition and style, or artistic impression if you prefer. And those marks range from a low of 5.4 to a high of 5.7, and he drops from third after the original program to fourth. at the moment. Back we come live from Orlando after this. Live again in Orlando, Florida. Mark Mitchell currently in third place and clearly on the bubble right now. Will he or won't he make the Olympic team? He probably won't know for a half hour or so. And back on the ice, we join in progress the free skating performance of Michael Chak, fifth after the original program. He would have to finish first or second in this phase of the competition to wind up in the top three, and that's not likely.
Well, he won't, because he's been leaving out his content. Instead of doing triples, he's been doubling all the way through.
He's 20 years old, from Brick Township, New Jersey, fifth in last year's Nationals in Minneapolis.
If he can pull out some triples at this point of the program, we'll see what this is right here. That was supposed to have been a triple, but it even ended up being a single. You just can't do that in this level of competition. Nice one. Very good hand position on that. Skater. He has nice flow over the ice, nice moves, but he certainly needs to do better than this.
Jack, the last skater in today's competition. The order, by the way, is through a blind draw. We saw Wiley first, we saw Bowman second, and right now they are 1-2 with Christopher on top and Wiley second. Chak completing his performance. You saw Mitchell, you saw Christopher Bowman, and we'll be back to wrap it up with the results when we come back. Chak's scores for technical merit ranged from 4.8 through 5.3, and for artistic impression they ranged from 4.8 through 5.3. He finished 7th overall. Now a reminder, tonight at 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central, we will determine the women's champion and the probable Olympic team. Christy Yamaguchi, Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan are 1, 2, 3 coming in the standings. Yamaguchi on top, Kerrigan second, last year's champion Harding third, Tisha Walker fourth, Lisa Irvin fifth. We will see all of them live tonight from Orlando. Meanwhile, the final standings now for the men. Normally, the top 3 would go to the Olympics, but we have Bowman first. Clearly, he will go to Albertville. You have Wiley second. Clearly, he will go to Albertville. But will Mark Mitchell go there, who finished third, or will the committee send Todd Eldridge, last year's champion and the champion from 1990, who is in a hotel across the street watching this telecast live, his fate to be determined probably within the next 30 minutes by a 41-person international committee of the U.S. Figure Skating Association. Scott Davis finishes fourth, and so on down the line at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. All right, let's get another word from Christopher Bowman with Julie Moran. Julie?
Christopher, after the 88 Olympics, you won the national championship in 89. A lot of people felt like you didn't live up to your potential. Well, you're back. You're the national champion. What are your plans for Albertville?
Even tonight, I really felt like I didn't live up to my potential. I had the triple axel out. It was something I really wanted to do. That was a decision between my coach and myself. Last year, the battle, Eldridge and myself, was really down to the triple axel, and I lost the title last year to him. really I want to peak at the Olympic Games. This was, as I said, just a stepping stone, gateway to the Olympics, and it was a challenge I met head on, and I'm on to Albertville.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Mark, this is a tough time for you. It's a waiting game now. Do you feel like you skated well enough to make this team?
I feel like I skated well today, not my best. But over the past 2 years, I think I've skated well enough, and I think my past performances prove that I'm worthy of being on the team. So now I just have to wait some more.
What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. Once again, it's out of my hands. The judges decided my fate today, and now the committee will decide my fate for 3 weeks from now. Thank you.
Paul, you really had to pull out all the stops tonight. You had to make up a lot of ground. How did you do it?
Well, I just wanted to focus on every jump at each one at the time, and I think, you know, I have room for improvement on my triple axels, but I was happy just to be pushing through all the way through the program, landing everything in the end.
Congratulations to all of you. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Julie. So the saga continues as they get ready for the award ceremony here in Orlando. What is your feeling, Dick? What do you think is going to happen in that committee room?
Well, I don't know about the committee room, but I will tell you what I feel about the level of skating tonight. And that was that, like they say about the wine, it was a good wine, but it wasn't a great wine. Good level skating all the way around.
In the jury room, we have a camera in there, but we are unable to mic it, and rightfully so, as they discuss it. And they'll determine the fates of Eldridge and Mitchell in the next 30 minutes or so. But the prevailing feeling is that they will select Eldridge. Do you think that's what will happen?
I would probably, if I had to place a bet, base it on Eldridge, yes.
41 members of that committee, including, oddly, Christopher Bowman's current coach, his former coach, Paul Wiley's coach, and on and on. We will have the answer for you when we come back on tonight at 9 Eastern time. We'll have a chance to take a look at the pairs competition, which took place a couple of nights ago, and, of course, live coverage of the women's finals. Christopher Bowman skating very well today. Christopher Bowman winning the national championship. Paul Wiley finishing second. And Mark Mitchell coming in third. We'll be back in 3 hours. For now, Al Michaels, Dick Button, Peggy Fleming, Jack Whitaker, Julie Moran saying goodbye from Orlando, Florida.
Tomorrow.
When you're fast asleep, in dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday, your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. Oh,
Most of the competitors arrived here last Sunday. And for them, it's been a busy week in Orlando, Florida. There's been some time for socializing, but the obligations, as always, have had precedent. The never-ending training and practicing with media relations thrown in as well. And tonight it all culminates as ABC's Wide World of Sports brings you the United States Figure Skating Championships presented by Diet Coke and NutraSweet. I'm Al Michaels, and welcome back to the Orlando Arena for more skating as these championships continue. We had 90 minutes of skating this afternoon on Wide World of Sports and 2 hours coming your way tonight. The competition should be terrific. We're going to, first of all, look back at the Pairs Championship, which was concluded on Thursday night. We'll take a look at our Olympic team in that event. Highlighting our schedule tonight, the Ladies Championship coverage coming your way live a little bit later. And we'll review the men's Olympic team decision because the men skated this afternoon, and when the competition ended, Christopher Bowman was on top. He is the national champion for 1992. Paul Wiley finished second. Mark Mitchell finished third. Normally, in an Olympic year, the top three would represent the Olympic team. Not so this year, because Bowman and Wiley will be joined by Todd Eldridge, the national champion in 90 and 91, who had to withdraw because of a bad back. Mitchell becomes the alternate. Why? The International Committee of the United States Figure Skating Association was empowered to do this because of this rule. In the event of illness or injury to a world medalist of the previous year, and Eldridge was, a skater placing in the top three of the current nationals could possibly be displaced by another skater. So Mitchell is out. He is the alternate, and Eldridge goes to Albertville, France to compete for the United States next month. More on the men later, but tonight's feature event, of course, is the ladies. Now, they skated their original programs last night. Best of all was Christy Yamaguchi, the reigning world champion. She is on top. Nancy Kerrigan is currently second. Tanya Harding is third. And then Tisha Walker, Lisa Irvin, and Tonya Kwiatkowski. We will see all of them in action live tonight. But let's look back at the best performance in the original program that was turned in by Christy Yamaguchi. And here's the way Dick Button, Peggy Fleming, and I called it last night. As Christy Yamaguchi gets set to skate her original program, Nancy Kerrigan has the lead. Tanya Harding is second. And here is Christy Yamaguchi, who has never won a national title. She was second in 89, second in 90, second in 91, but did win the World Championship last March.
She's a very delicate and complete skater with such grace, but yet very strong.
The competitive aspects of this competition, this move is crucial right here. Triple Lutz, double toe, and she did it. That will probably put her in first place following the original program.
In this next move, a double flip jump. Watch your arms over her head. Very nice landing positions. Very much in control, very calm.
She's skating beautifully, just beautifully.
double axel. Oh, very clean program.
Well, artistry comes into play when the technique is there. Isn't that nice?
Wonderful package.
Beautiful moment for her. Just beautiful.
And that's why Christy Yamaguchi has the lead as we prepare for the free skating portion of the ladies' final. So Christy is in good shape, but what about Tanya Harding? She was last year's champion. However, she's had problems in Orlando over the last couple of days. She injured her ankle in practice yesterday. Then last night in the original program, she fell coming out of her triple axel. And earlier today at about 1:30 this afternoon, she was practicing that same move and fell again. I'm joined by Dick Button. Dick, what do you think of Tanya's chances tonight?
Well, I think they're very good. They're good for all of the young ladies. The real question is, why would Tonya Harding attempt a triple axel when it isn't necessary, and its failure could cost her greatly? Well, the answer is because she's a dedicated, gutsy, true blue competitor. It would never occur to her to eliminate something merely because it's difficult or dangerous. She knows both the value of the prize and the price that she must pay for it.
And the price she has paid right now is that she's in third position, trailing Christy Yamaguchi and Nancy Kerrigan. And I'm joined by Peggy Fleming. And what do you think of Yamaguchi's chances tonight and Kerrigan's chances, Peggy?
Well, Christy's depth in choreography and her command over the ice really showed through in this program. But Christy's never won this title before. And then there's Nancy Kerrigan's elegant performance, which left her in second. And this leads to a very interesting competition tonight. You know, Nancy has quietly climbed the ladder of success. And for the first time, she finds herself in a position to win the national title. However, if Nancy, Christy, and Tanya all skate inspired long programs, the judges will have to decide whether to award the gold to the best jumper or to the best complete skater.
And live coverage of the ladies' final coming up a little later. But when we come back, we'll look at the pairs. Coming up later, and it will be live coverage of the ladies' final. But first up, we're going to go back to Thursday night and show you competition in the pairs event. After they had skated their original programs Wednesday, the standings looked like this, and the original programs were worth 1/3 of the total score. Natasha Kuchiki and Todd Sand, last year's champions, had the lead. Jenny Mino and Scott Wendland were second. Kala Urbanski and Rocky Marvel were third. Now performances from the free skating portion, as Dick and Peggy and I called it Thursday night. This pair performed very well in the original program. In fact, they are second coming into the free skating portion now as we look at Jenny Mino, who's 21 years old, originally from Ohio, and her partner, 26-year-old Scott Wendland from Costa Mesa, California. They both train under John Nix, who also coaches Natasha Kuchiki and Todd Sand, the pair that this pair is chasing.
And their technical merit, their technical ability will be shown right here as individual skaters with side-by-side double axels. And on this next move, a split triple twist, a very dangerous move. Watch the way she steps back to pole vault herself into the air right there.
They're a very appealing pair team in that short program we saw the other night. They had this crowd, and it was a standing ovation. It was very exciting. They can be very electric. Here it is, the most difficult side-by-side triple toe loops. That's too bad that she fell on that. She should have been stronger at that. She was a single skater just 2 years ago.
Well, the reason she's no longer a single skater is because she wasn't so strong in the triple jump. That's why she moved to pair skating.
Jenny Mino and Scott Wendland skating together only since the spring of 1990. Last year they shocked everyone by finishing third in the Nationals. Went on to finish 10th in the World Championships. And here they are trying to make the Olympic team.
Choice of music is wonderful. It's from Robin Hood, the movie soundtrack. Do this forward inside death spiral so well. Very nice arch.
And a nice hand for Jenny Mino and Scott Wendland, who were second after the original program. We'll be back with their marks after this. Mino and Scott Wendland for technical merit are fair, ranging from 5.4 up to 5.7. And now they await their marks for the composition and style.
Well, it just wasn't a great performance. They made too many mistakes in it to put themselves into contention for winning this event.
And those marks are all 5.6s and 5.7s.
5.7.
Now a most unusual pair. 31-year-old Kala Urbanski, a cocktail waitress, and 26-year-old Rocky Marvel, who owns a trucking firm. Let's have a closer look with Julie Moran.
On the ice, Kala Urbanski skates in perfect unison with her partner, Rocky Marvel. Away from the rink, their differences extend far beyond their taste in clothes. She's the fire, he's the ice.
Yeah, we have pretty much separate lives off the ice. We have our jobs. We have our...
Different friends.
Yeah.
Very different friends.
The differences in their personalities have been a benefit to their skating. While she sells the duo with her smile and exuberance, he provides a rock-solid foundation.
I feel I have it more together on the ice at times, and she has it more together off the ice. She gets a little out of control, so to speak. Her mind works faster than her legs or her body can move, so that's what... And I just try to keep the team at a nice, even keel.
I'll hold the bag, you give the buttons.
This week in Orlando, Kala and Rocky have been converting any and all non-believers into fans. But at the age of 31, senior citizen status in skating, she isn't quite ready to pin all of her hopes on making the Olympic team.
All the way through the summer and early fall, and you start doing a few things with, media, and we get, more press. But we were so afraid to say the O word. you know, and everyone's like, oh, you're going, and it's like he did not want to say. You know, it was just like,
But the old lady of figure skating may soon be able to say those sweet words, I'm an Olympian.
And on the ice now, Carla Urbanski and Rocky Marvel in third place after the original program. They've been skating together since 1990. Last year at the championships in Minneapolis, they finished second, looking to do better in 92.
Well, they're very competitive and very enthusiastic team. Watch their speed and their power and the height that she gets on a lot of her lifts and jumps. Now this is one of their spectacular looking throw triple loops. The height and the distance that she gets is really beautiful.
Problems that they've had in past competitions has been on their side-by-side double axles. Remember, that's a very difficult jump because of the forward edge. Here they come, side by side, 2.5 revolutions. He doubled it, she singled it.
And that was also the move that gave them the problems in the original program. She fell on that jump.
Last year, Urbanski and Marvel won the free skating portion of the competition, but Kuchiki and Sand had a big enough lead in the original program phase to win it all. But tonight, if they finish first in this phase, they will win it all.
They're really quite unique with some of their lifts. They have developed some moves that are quite unusual. This move coming up is called a pendulum lift. It starts without any lifting or stretching from the ice on her part. Right here. That requires a great deal of strength.
It's very inventive.
Side-by-side combination jump. This portion of the program has a little less finesse than what we will expect to see in their Olympic competition, the Russian and Canadian pairs. But overall, this is really a striking program. Really first-rate program for them, isn't it?
And a difficult ending pose, too.
And they know they've done very well, very well.
Well, they were the best in free skating last year. We'll return in a moment for the marks for Kala Urbanski from Chicago and Rocky Marvel from New Egypt, New Jersey, training in Delaware under coach Ron Ludington. Kala Urbanski and Rocky Marvel taking a look at their marks for technical merit, all 5.7s and 5.8s, and along with coach Ron Ludington, now awaiting the marks for composition and style.
The judges' marks for composition.
Those marks range from 5.7 through 5.9, so they're in first place for the moment, still awaiting the performance of Kuchiki and Sand, but good enough to move in front of Nino and Wendland. And here's Julie.
Kala and Rocky, last night you fell on your side-by-side double axels. You had a little problem there tonight. What happened? How did you compose yourself and put it back together?
We want this, and so we had to do it. We're good coming from behind, and we just gave it all we had.
How did it feel when that crowd was on their feet?
I love that feeling. That is why I skate for the people.
Thanks for joining us. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Now the final pair, Natasha Kuchiki, 15 years old from Canoga Park, California, and her partner Todd Sand, who is 28. He's from Costa Mesa, California. They first skated together in 1990 when they finished second in the U.S. Nationals. Then they won the title last year. And again, they were first after the original program Wednesday, but must win this phase of the competition to retain their national title.
They performed disastrously at the Skate America Championship earlier this fall. One of the worst performances I've ever seen. That throw triple loop was nice, but their problem in the Skate America Championship was on this split triple twist coming up here. Watch particularly the way she stretches back. It's a short stretch, doesn't give her enough height. She does not complete the revolution by the time she lands.
Now side-by-side double axels. Oh, he fell. This is probably going to cause them a lot of trouble.
Overhead lift. Not particularly good position. Since she has grown taller, they are more suited to each other physically.
Coming up is a Swan Star split lift combination, and watch the exit. Most innovative. Watch how she exits the lift, resting on his feet.
And it's that kind of thing that's not going to help their chances in this competition.
this young pair seems very tentative and a trifle slow in this competition. That's not going to stand them well when they compete against the Russian and Canadian pairs at the Olympic Games. And I'm afraid they need that confidence if they're going to do well at the Olympics.
Well, this is a relatively new routine. It's only 4 months old, and it always takes quite a while for a team to really blend and make this second nature. And they just seem a little rough around the edges with this and not comfortable.
Well, now, that kind of a mistake on a very simple double flip clearly is going to cost them dearly. They'll have trouble even holding on to second place.
Well, it just doesn't seem to be their night tonight. They're just not really on.
Last year, Kuchiki and Sand did not skate that well in the free skating portion of the competition in Minneapolis, but held on to win the national title. That doesn't figure to be the case this time around. Their marks when we come back. For technical merit for Kuchiki and Sand, and they're very ordinary, 5.4 through 5.7. And looking on from the wings, a pair with a vested interest, Kala Urbanski and Rocky Marvel, who stand to win the national championship, because the marks coming up now for composition and style are not good enough for Kuchiki and Sand, ranging from 5.5 through 5.7. They have dropped to third. Urbanski and Marvel have won the national title. Mino and Wendland finished second. Kuchiki and Sand are third as we join Julie Moran.
Did being the defending national champion was the pressure there for you tonight?
A little bit, yeah. We had 2 goals when we came here. We wanted to make the Olympic team, and we wanted to defend our title. I think we've done one of those.
And there she is, Kala Urbanski, who with partner Rocky Marvel, this unlikely pair winning the national title. She's a cocktail waitress. He owns a trucking company. They're on their way to France, along with Mino and Wendland, who finished second. Kuchiki and Sand finished third. So those 3 pairs will represent the United States in the upcoming Olympic Games in France. A look at some of the other finishers as we go back to Julie Moran with the national champions.
Kala, at 31, did you ever think you'd realize your dream of making the Olympic team?
Not at 31, but it's great. It's a fantastic way to go.
Rocky, Kala's the cheerleader. You're the conservative one. You keep the couple grounded. How did you accomplish that?
I don't think I have a choice. She just sort of takes over, and I just follow along.
Congratulations and best of luck in Albertville.
Thank you very much.
That all took place Thursday in the pairs competition. Now we're live again at the Orlando Arena, Orlando, Florida, as these U.S. figure skating championships continue. The ladies' final coming up very shortly. Well, right now we'd like to take a moment to extend our best wishes to Natalie Siebold, a member of the 1988 Olympic team. Natalie was diagnosed last week with a benign brain tumor. The tumor will eventually be removed, but for now she'll continue to skate on tour. Natalie and her brother Wayne have been the pride of Marion, Indiana, and the people of Marion have played a prominent role in their success, holding numerous fundraisers over a 4-year period to help support their training. The Siebold's finished third at the 1988 U.S. Nationals to earn a trip to the Olympic Games, and they went on to finish 10th in Calgary. Natalie, our thoughts are with you. Let's finish up what we started this afternoon. Many of you on Wide World of Sports were with us for the men's final. Christopher Bowman is the national champion. Paul Wiley finished second. Those 2 will go to France. Mark Mitchell finished third. However, because Todd Eldridge had to withdraw because of an injury, and he had won a medal at last year's World Championships, he was eligible to be named to the team. When we went off the air, that was still up in the air. But at about 6:30 local time, the committee empowered to do so, the International Committee of the U.S. Figure Skating Association, did indeed name Todd Eldridge to the team. Mark Mitchell will be the alternate. And earlier, Julie Moran had a chance to talk with both Todd and Mark.
Todd, you must be relieved with the decision.
Yes, definitely. You know, I'm happy that the committee decided this way, and you know, I'll just work my hardest to get my back better and go on to the Olympics.
Mark, you were in a similar situation last year, having just missed the world team. Do you think the decision was fair?
Well, I'm not really sure because I haven't spoken with anyone yet, but Todd, he's been, you know, he was national champion 2 years in a row, and he was third at Worlds last year, and he's the reason why we were able to send 3 this year. So I'll just have to wait for 2 more years.
And in the darkness there, a live shot, Todd Eldridge. There is one kicker. He will be monitored by a couple of doctors, and they'll issue a final report on the 24th of January to make sure he can compete. He will be healthy for the upcoming Olympic Games. That's the story with the men. Now let's think ladies. And who better to get the thoughts of than one Jack Whitaker. Hi, Jack.
Thank you, Al, very much. In the history of the Winter Olympic Games, only 4 American women have won the gold medal in figure skating. But never, since 1956, have American women been denied the championship over a longer period of time than now. It has been 16 years. The first American woman to wrest the gold from the Scandinavians and Europeans was a brilliant young woman from Boston. Tenley Albright won the United States Championship 5 times and capped her career with her winning performance at the Winter Games in '56. 4 years later, in the mountains of California, Carol Heiss, who had finished second to Albright in '56, found the winner's gold at Squaw Valley. In '61, there occurred the darkest day in the history of U.S. figure skating. The entire American team killed in an airplane crash in Brussels en route to the World Championships. But like the Phoenix, the United States rose again, and 7 years later was back. The champion who took them there, the beauteous Peggy Fleming, who brought new artistry to the sport. In a valley town in Austria 8 years later, it was another American beauty, a young woman from Connecticut with a world championship haircut who captivated the world. Dorothy Hamill became the 4th and last American woman to win the Olympic championship. Since 1976, it has been the women from East Germany who have skated to the top. American women have been close. Linda Fradiani in 1980 and Rosalind Summers in 1984 both won silver medals, and in 1988 at Calgary, Debbie Thomas was a leading contender but could manage only a bronze against the formidable Fraulein Witt. Now, as we near the games in Albertville, there is no more East Germany. There are no more compulsory figures to skate, and America has 3 strong contenders in this day of strong athleticism in women's skating: Harding, Yamaguchi, and Kerrigan. Can one of them become the 5th American woman to win a gold medal and carry on what Tenley Albright began 36 years ago, when American women figure skaters first became the toast of the world? They begin the 2nd stage of their Olympic journey tonight.
Thank you, Jack. And still to come, we'll preview the ladies' contenders and then have live coverage of the ladies' final featuring 1991 World Championship medalists Christy Yamaguchi, Tanya Harding, and Nancy Kerrigan. It's simple. The winner of tonight's free skating phase wins the title. First, another installment in our continuing series on what's new in sports science and technology. Brought to you by Orlando Arena, Orlando, Florida, home of the Orlando Magic and next month's NBA All-Star Game. This week, host to the All-Stars of figure skating. The U.S. Figure Skating Championships, in effect, the Olympic trials. Now, last night, the ladies skated their original programs. That's worth 1/3 the overall score. So the standings look like this as we begin competition tonight. Christy Yamaguchi has the lead. Nancy Kerrigan is 2nd. Tanya Harding is 3rd. If they remain that way, they'd represent the U.S. in Albertville. Tisha Walker is 4th. Lisa Irvin is 5th. And Tanya Kwiatkowski is 6th. Now, they'll skate in this order, and the order was determined by a blind draw. Yamaguchi will go first. Then we'll see Harding. Then comes Walker. Irvin skates 4th. Kerrigan skates 5th. And Kwiatkowski will be 6th. Again, the top 3 make the U.S. Olympic team. Well, the American ladies did spectacularly well last March in the World Championships in Munich, Germany. For more on that, here's Julie Moran. Julie?
Never before in the history of the World Championships has one country swept the medals in the ladies division. Never before, that is, until 1991, when Americans Kristi Yamaguchi, Tonya Harding, and Nancy Kerrigan stole the show. And since then, their lives have been dramatically different.
Still hard for me to believe that I'm actually the world champion.
The historic accomplishment of the American trio launched them into the world of commercial endorsements, financial opportunities that were once unavailable to amateurs. But many of their appearances have been far removed from the national spotlight, from local skating competitions to stints on the local news.
I'm Tonya Harding for Celebrity Sportcaster Week.
3 women, forever linked as athletes, yet dramatically different as individuals. They come from both sides of the country and different types of families, and each has been molded by the environment she grew up in. Kristi Yamaguchi's world once revolved around her hometown of Fremont, California, but her skating took her to Edmonton in 1989, leaving her family behind. She lived with her coach, Christy Ness, and her husband for 2 years, but this summer, at the age of 20, she moved out on her own and faced the responsibilities of adulthood for the first time. Kristi is in Edmonton, however, for one reason, to skate. And she does that at the Royal Glenora Club, which has drawn skaters from around the world. It's also home to 3-time world champion Kurt Browning of Canada.
It's been wonderful for my training. It's a good group of kids. We're all here for the skating. A lot of us are from other parts of the world, so skating is the first important thing.
While her fellow skaters motivate Kristi on the ice, their helping hand extends off it as well. The U.S. national champion resides not in Edmonton, but in Portland, Oregon. Tonya Harding rocked the skating community in '91 when she won the national title, but her success has led to a year of turmoil. She filed for divorce from her husband Jeff this June, then reconciled with him in October. In the spring, she announced she was leaving Dodie Teachman to coach herself, only to rejoin her 7 weeks later.
It was really hard because I went through a lot of, emotional state. It was really hard. And, everything is back in shape. I mean, people were pulling me in different directions and everything, and I didn't know what to do.
While she and Teachman have been reunited, their relationship has changed.
I need to be in charge of my skating. This is my life. And it's the same with my coach. She's there to teach me. And when I need help, I'm the employer, and she's my employee. And that's the way it should be.
A continent away in Stoneham, Massachusetts, live the Kerrigans, a close-knit, working-class family. And the baby of the clan has always been Nancy. From an early age, her brothers wanted to turn her into an ice hockey player, but her parents thought figure skating was more appropriate. Her success in '91 proved that decision wise.
I was very proud. I was in tears. I was very, very happy. Not for us as much as anything. It was just for Nancy, because she's worked so damn hard for what she's earned so far.
Her mother and best friend Brenda is legally blind and sees only images on the ice.
My mom's probably like my best friend. It's nice because I don't know a lot of friends that have their relationship with their mothers, that close. And I tell her everything. There's no secrets. So I'm lucky.
From Nancy Kerrigan on tape to Nancy Kerrigan live now, as she has begun warming up in Orlando, as has the defending champion Tonya Harding, third after the original program. and the reigning world champion, Christy Yamaguchi. Coming up, live coverage of the ladies' final after an ABC news brief, and this from our ABC stations. Heads to Oslo, Norway for the World Challenge of Champions in the men's competition. We'll see three-time defending champion Brian Boitano meet old nemesis Brian Orser and a rejuvenated Scott Hamilton. Plus, Debbie Thomas and Rosalind Sumners headline the field for the ladies' title all next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern and Pacific, 3:30 Central. Then in 3 weeks, ABC's Wide World of Sports continues its coverage of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships presented by Diet Coke and NutraSweet. Will return here to Orlando as the U.S. Olympic team takes the ice for special exhibition performances Saturday, February 1st on ABC Sports. Okay, live again in Orlando, along with Dick Button and Peggy Fleming. The competitors, the prime competitors, are concluding their warm-ups out on the ice. And Dick, first of all, let's take a look at Christy Yamaguchi, who skated brilliantly last night, and what we can expect to see from her performance tonight.
Well, she has a very difficult program. You can see the list of triple jumps that she has scheduled for that program, but look particularly at the last triple Salchow. That's because she's had trouble with that jump. She missed it at the Nationals last year, at the Trophy La Ligue, and at Skate America. She's been having trouble with it. It would be disastrous if it failed her tonight.
Well, she's a very complete skater. Watch how she just skates around, how she uses her hands, how she extends and holds moves out. Watch the landing. She really holds the positions. Very nice.
Now let's take a look at Tanya Harding. We've discussed the fact that she injured her ankle. She fell yesterday. What about her elements tonight,
She's
Dick?
taking her time right here because she's first up. The first thing off is that triple axel, the famous triple axel. You can see how important that is. But the final double axel has been a difficult one for her because she loses concentration and suddenly she forgets that she has to do the simplest of all jumps. It can be a very, very difficult thing if she doesn't maintain full concentration right through to the end of the program.
Well, Tanya has power in all parts of her skating. Look how she gathers speed just in these crossovers. So her in-between moves are going to be very powerful, as well as her jumps.
Look at this right here. Now, this is a preparation right there for her triple axel. And she almost did it. It just kind of fell out.
Dick, briefly, the program elements now for Nancy Kerrigan as we look at her.
And doesn't she look beautiful there in that very elegant dress? Well, here are her program elements. Now, we've highlighted the triple Lutz because that's the most difficult triple jump, I think, that she does. And it comes quite late in the program. She also is wonderfully elegant. Look, right here, she's doing a triple Lutz. Yeah. Oh, very nice.
And she just flows through her triple Lutz and does it in a very ladylike manner and very classical line. You're going to love her.
It's pretty ladylike, but she does get height on it. She does get a spring in it
does.
And a delay. We just saw that in that practice one right there.
We'll
Good
also
height. Good height.
be seeing Tisha Walker as well. We'll see Lisa Irvin and Tanya Kwiatkowski as the warm-up period comes to a conclusion.
That is Tonya Kwiatkowski.
So here we go as Christy Yamaguchi gets to skate first. Again, this was determined by a blind draw. She is the leader. They begin the night chasing her, and she'll try to make sure that they'll chase her for the rest of the evening as well with a good performance in the free skating phase.
Remember, that blind draw is just among the top ladies.
She's a very complete skater, very detailed, and a beautiful program that's choreographed very well with lots of character.
Her first combination, this double, triple, first a triple Lutz, and then a half turn before the triple toe loop. The half turn in between means it doesn't get quite the same amount of credit. But beautifully done.
This is an excellent example at her beautiful style, how she holds things out.
every triple. This is a flip. Beautiful, effortless, soft. She really settles very gracefully onto the ice, doesn't she? Seldom sees a flying sit spin.
Without using your arms to brace yourself as you go down in the sit position makes it even more difficult. Very solid opening. Yes, she's lost her bow. I hope she doesn't skate over that, because when your blade hits something like that, you can definitely fall. But I think she can probably see it pretty obviously.
This free program worth 2/3 of the final overall score. It's about 4 minutes in duration.
A very difficult opening into a triple loop jump. She'll do a back bend. And now into a triple loop. Oh, she
nice
held on to that.
And the move that has been so difficult for her in past championships, this triple Salchow. Good girl. That was very nice.
That's a lot of emotion to see out of Christy. Usually she's very, very calm, very much in control, but you could see the excitement when she finished that.
She has one final exceedingly difficult move, this triple Lutz. She has really completed this program exceptionally well so far. Just marvelous to see this. Very nice. Isn't that wonderful? You know, to come to a national championship and then skate your best during that performance, that's really the name of the game, isn't it? And it was such a beautifully complete program all the way around. Choreography, style, elegance, just floated beautifully, beautifully on the ice. She does indeed float like a leaf.
Dorothy Hamill showing her appreciation. Christy Ness, her coach.
And this is slow motion of Christy's triple flip. Look at how she reaches back, good tight legs. Very, very nice. And so much trouble she's had on her triple Salchow over the past year. Here it is. Watch her swing now and lift it up. Still a little bit to the side, but nice, very well done. And then at the end of her program, this triple Lutz. Good one, good one. Very nice. Good all-around program. Everything was in place. Well, that kind of sets up the evening, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does.
Through a blind draw, she was first in the door and may have closed the door behind her. And while she was skating, Tanya Harding, backstage, who suffers from asthma, and we just taped this moments ago, needed her inhaler. And so Tanya fighting that battle. A slight ankle sprain. There she is live now as she awaits her performance, but before that, we'll see Yamaguchi's scores.
You know, it's well known that the national championship is the toughest competition for American skaters for the whole year. Much tougher than the World Championship.
And Christie's never won it. That's why it has particular significance for her. The marks are all 5/8 outside of 1 5.7. So very consistent marks for technical merit for Yamaguchi.
And 5.8.
Those marks are very respectable, yet high enough to give subsequent skaters more marks should they deserve it.
Now the artistic and style should be much higher, and they are 6.0.
And there's a 6 from judge number 6.
1.6, 1.5.8, and 7 5.9s for Christy Yamaguchi, who is all but the official national champion. She waves to the crowd. Let's get a word from her with Julie Moran. Julie?
Christy, you've been second here 3 years in a row. What would it mean to finally win this?
Well, I think the most important thing is that I went out there. This is probably the best I've ever skated at U.S. Nationals. So I'm very excited, and, you know, at least I know I probably have a place on the team.
Well, congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
That's sweet, isn't it?
Well, the irony is she's won a world title, but never a national title. But officially, that should be less than 45 minutes away.
Okay, look at this now.
Tonya Harding, fighting for a spot on the Olympic team. She is third after the original program. Again, in effect, these are the Olympic trials. Top 3 in all probability go to Albertville. Here she goes.
Tonya has a very, very positive attitude and a lot more complicated life than a lot of these other women competing here.
She also has a very nice sense of style. You know, it's in good position. And of course, this jump coming up will be the name of the game here, her triple axel. That's the same type of fall that she took during practice yesterday.
Well, now she's got to stay focused and complete the rest of this program, which is very important for her to hold on to her place. Her coach said she had brand new skates, so they're not totally broken in, and she also has blades that were designed by MK. They're called Vantage, and notice that they're gold.
This combination, it was intended to be a combination. It was simply a double toe loop.
Choreographer Barbara Flowers choreographed this routine. Very nice, simple choreography. I think that really suits Tonya's style, which is strong and athletic.
A triple loop jump, and she doubled that. Now this is not good that she's not doing these triple jumps, and I'm quite sure it's a result of her injury because she doesn't give up and doesn't single out on or double out on triple jumps.
Remember, it is her right foot, her landing foot, that is in her injury.
That loop, of course, was
It's
right
totally-
foot taking off and landing.
Totally that foot.
It's our understanding she hasn't even taped it. The remedies have been simply aspirin and ice.
A lot will tell us about this move right here. That was nice.
Coming up is another one of her triple jumps. It's supposed to be a triple Salchow, maybe double or triple toe. Nice triple Salchow and a double toe.
That was clearly then the foot hurting, because she didn't even try to do a triple.
Right, she is not pushing like she usually is. That fire is just not there today. You can see on her face she's really trying very, very hard.
I have the feeling the fire is there, but the ankle probably is not.
Very frustrating.
Tonya Harding will not be defending her national championships. The question is, has she skated well enough to make the Olympic team? Still to be determined. Her marks when we come back.
And this is slow motion as she steps into this triple axel. Look at the height that she gets right there. But you can see there was nothing wrong with that jump. It's just that the ankle did not hold it. She gave no pressure to it whatsoever. Now, this is the triple Salchow. First, gets good height, good cross feet, everything is fine, and then instead of just being able to move right into it, she stepped and did a double toe. And here she is, of course, coming off the ice as she walked off the ice, and you can see that she's limping. But you know, she skated full out. She gave it everything that she could.
Tried. She's that kind of skater.
Absolutely, and you don't see her in tears here because she didn't. This is a gutsy gal.
Yes, very much in control of what she can do, what she wants.
Here come the marks for technical merit. They're quite low.
Well, I don't understand a 5.3.
Two of them, in fact, two 5.3s, and a pair of 5.7s. The others are all 5.6s.
Well, whatever it
across the board.
The whole thing depends upon where it ranks her within the framework of the other skaters, not how high or how low any one mark is.
But it has left some room. For artistic impression, her marks range from 5.6 through 5.8. For the moment, she is second behind Yamaguchi as we go to Julie.
Tonya, it's obvious you're in pain. You were limping off the ice. How much pain are you actually in?
I don't know what's wrong, but I mean, it's okay. I went out and I did my best. And
how did you compose yourself after that triple? You really fought back in that program.
I really thought that, you know, I could just wing it and just do everything and let my body just take over instead of my mind telling me, well, it hurts, but it didn't work that way.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So for Tonya Harding now, the agonizing wait to see if she can finish at least third. Here is Tisha Walker. She's only 17 years old. She's a senior at Thousand Oaks High School in Southern California. She was fifth in the Nationals last year and skated with a stress fracture in her foot and came down with mono at the end of October, was off the ice for another 2 weeks. It's been a tough year, but she was fourth after the original program, and she has to see now if she can take advantage of what just happened to Tonya Harding.
Well, last year she had to skate after Tonya Harding had that fantastic performance and the crowd was on its feet. This year's quite different. Very nice triple flip. It's a nice opening. And now a triple Salchow.
Up.
Whoop.
Single one. If you're going to dislodge somebody, you cannot make mistakes. Double axle combo. She ended up doing a single axle, then a double axle. No harm in that.
17-year-old Tisha Walker of Thousand Oaks, California, skating in the national championships. What it amounts to mathematically is if she skates a better free program than Harding, she'll move into third place overall.
Now coming up, the Ina Bauer into a triple loop. Triple toe. Nicely done.
Pretty position. She needs this triple loop jump. I think that tells you that she will not pull up over Tonya Harding. She has doubled out, singled out of, and not done too many moves in this program for the judges not to realize that. And
this past week she had some problems with getting through her program. I think probably as a residual effect of having mono just recently. Now this is a test to endurance. She has planned a split jump triple toe.
she's a very attractive performer on the ice.
Yes, she tries very hard.
But there's nothing essentially that sets her apart, the basic skating from other skaters. She certainly is pretty to watch.
Yes, very much so.
Tisha Walker had a chance to capitalize. Did it materialize? We'll find out in a moment.
Before we... 5.3, 5.5.
Tisha Walker's marks, as she looks on with her coaches Doug and Lori Varvace, are 5.2 through 5.5.
And you can pretty well tell that those are not going to displace Tonya Harding.
No, Harding is safe for the moment, though Lisa Irvin still has a chance to move ahead of Tonya Harding. Here come Walker's marks for artistic impression, and they range from 5.3 to 5.5. She does not displace Harding. So Yamaguchi still leads. Harding for the moment is second. Walker is third, but of course Kerrigan has yet to skate. Nancy comes in second place. But here is a lady, and we keep calling them ladies, by the way, because that is the official designation of the U.S. Figure Skating Association, not women. Here is Lisa Irvin, who's only 14 years old, from Cleveland, Ohio. And if she skates a better free program than Tonya Harding, she would move ahead of Harding.
Well, she was the novice national champion, and she was the junior national champion, and now she's in the senior ladies division, which is big time.
This is her first triple, a triple toe. She certainly did not reach back on the entrance to that. That was quite surprising.
And she is coached by Carol Heiss-Jenkins. Carol was a novice national champion and a junior champion, and this is what, and she won the Olympics in 1960. And this is what Lisa aspires to be, is just like her coach. positions in that layback spin.
Difficult triple loop jump from the back outside edge, but she held on to it.
Well, she wasn't going very fast, so that makes it even more difficult. Her hands very well, finishing off moves in the slow part and as well as in the fast footwork part.
That was planned to be a triple. It ended up being a double. Again, remember, there are no marks taken off because a skater does a lesser jump. It just doesn't add to their position. This is a triple toe combination with a double toe loop.
It's a real endurance test to attempt to do those triples at the end of a 4-minute program. She was very cute.
14-year-old Lisa Irvin.
Very nice.
She just looks so sophisticated, but at the end you could see she was 14. Very charming girl. Very charming girl. There's Ty Babylonia, of course. Dorothy Hamill.
Lisa Irvin of Cleveland, Ohio. Back to her scores in a moment as Wide World of Sports returns after a word from our ABC station.
And this is the triple toe loop that she did. The turn in between the two jumps cuts down the difficulty of it. But they were very nice, very neat, and she should be very proud of them. And certainly her coach, Carol Heiss Jenkins, is. You can see her right here, a smile from ear to ear. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm. Lisa Irvin, born April 20th, 1977. It sounds impossible, doesn't it?
Yes.
14 years old. Her marks upcoming for technical merit range from 5.4 through 5.6, and that meets with the crowd's disapproval.
Well, I'm assuming the crowd think that they're too low. Actually, her difficulty was not up with some of the others. There were certain layouts there, I think, don't you?
But I think she has just such a charming personality. I think the audience just really liked her.
She's adorable,
oh, yeah.
she?
Here come the marks. This will determine whether she goes to Albertville or not, and they range from 5.3 through 5.7, and they are not high enough to move her past Tanya Harding. So Harding is in good shape now because she has withstood the challenges.
But they do move her.
Lisa Irvin and Tisha Walker.
Right.
For the moment, they move her into third place, but Nancy Kerrigan has yet to skate. So Lisa Irvin, for the moment, in third position as we take a look at Nancy Kerrigan, who was second after the original program, trying to win a spot on the Olympic team. She was third in last year's Nationals and then went on to finish third in the World Championships in Munich. Nancy Kerrigan, 22 years old, from Stoneham, Massachusetts.
Doesn't she look elegant?
Oh, she looks like a little angel. Very feminine, very ladylike style, and yet very much the athlete. The tough part starts. She opens up with a triple flip jump.
And she usually gets very good height on this. Watch the toe pick. That was a double.
Now she's got to concentrate and control and do the rest of the program. Because the next jump coming up is a triple combination. Triple toe, triple toe. Well, she landed one of them.
And with the 3 turns coming out of it, that won't help too much. Triple jump, a Salchow. Here it is. That was very
nice.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
I love her landings when her arms just are in such a gorgeous position, very much in control.
Very laid back. She has one final difficult move, this triple Lutz. And she doubled it and then did a double toe loop.
Nice triple loop. Her costume was designed by Vera Wang. She was a former skater and turned costume and wedding dress designer in Madison Avenue. So this is her first attempt at doing skating costumes. I think she's done very nicely.
Hey, there it is. There was that triple toe.
This wasn't even scheduled in the program, at least ahead of time for us.
That shows she's a pretty competitive young lady.
A very different ending. Ends in this spiral position. Isn't she beautiful?
Well, she certainly made up for a lot of the misses earlier in the program.
Certainly did. There's a dad.
adding those moves in saved it, didn't it?
Her dad, Dan Kerrigan, was clapping. Her mother, Brenda Kerrigan, who is legally blind. That was a live shot. There she is again. She has to get that close to the monitor to see her daughter. And she's applauding what figures to be a trip to France. Nancy Kerrigan waving to the crowd her marks in a moment.
This is slow motion of the combination spread eagle, triple loop jump. Now look at her turn right to this back outside edge and tight, clean, neat jump. Very, very pretty position on the landing. And this was the other triple jump that she did. Triple toe, double toe.
Nancy Kerrigan awaiting her scores. With Mary Nevy-Stadtvold, her coaches, 5 6s and 5 7s across the board for technical merit for Nancy.
Those are quite solid marks. With the exception of Christy Yamaguchi, none of the girls skated perfectly tonight.
But she probably skated well enough to finish second. She figures to move into that spot after these marks appear for artistic impression, and they are.
I think she will. Yes, indeed,
without a doubt. Between 5'7" and 5'9", mainly 5'8". She is second behind only Yamaguchi, with Harding now third. Nancy Kerrigan very pleased with those marks. And so mathematically it will be Yamaguchi, Kerrigan, and Harding.
The audience has just seen that Nancy Kerrigan is in second place.
Right. The reason for that burst of applause. And Tanya Kwiatkowski will now be our final skater, but mathematically she cannot finish in the top 3. Before we go off the air, Peggy, let's make mention of Jill Trenner. She was a national champion in '89, but has been hurt the last 2 years and again unable to compete.
It's very disappointing not to see her here. I know she's watching today. Hi, Jill. We miss you.
Tanya Kwiatkowski from Broadview Heights, Ohio. She's 20 years old, and in fact, Jill Trennery trained Kwiatkowski. Right now, her coach is Carol Heiss-Jenkins. She was 6th after the original program.
Very strong opening she's had. She's completed a triple flip already. Now a triple Lutz. Up, and she just doubled it. She has a lot of enthusiasm, real happy skater. She looks like she really enjoys doing this.
She has good speed. Triple toe. Never set in for the position for that. The beginning of it was way off.
You have to go in with a positive attitude to those jumps.
99 times out of 100, the problem of a jump is always in the entrance.
She looked very hesitant. Look at her leg position in that layback spin. Nicely turned out.
And behind.
Nice skating music. She skated to this music last year and she liked it so much. She did it again this year. Of course, the music is Rhapsody in Blue.
Problem there was she just didn't reach back far enough to give her the height to make the revolution.
Triple toe loop at the end of this 4-minute program is always difficult. So pleasant to watch.
Tanya Kwiatkowski wrapping up the competition. So it's Yamaguchi and Kerrigan and Harding, and moments ago Yamaguchi and Harding both on their way to the Olympics.
Isn't that nice?
For Tanya Kwiatkowski, her marks for technical merit ranged from 5.2 through 5.6, and now for composition and style, they range from 5.3 through 5.7. She will finish 5th. She does move in front of Tisha Walker. She had started the evening in 6th position after the original program. Thus, the final standings, the top 3 form the United States Olympic team. The national champion is Christy Yamaguchi. She's been a world champion, a 3-time national runner-up. She has finally won her first U.S. crown. Nancy Kerrigan finishes 2nd, and last year's champion Tanya Harding finishes 3rd. And some of the other finishers, Lisa Irvin finishes 4th, Kwiatkowski finishes 5th, Tisha Walker 6th. One difference from the past is that they will go to a different schedule in terms of the Winter Olympics beginning in '94. They will not be a 4-year wait. The '94 Olympics will be held in Lillehammer, Norway. So keep some of those other names in mind. And while we await the award ceremonies and the interviews, let's get some final thoughts from Jack Whitaker. Jack?
Well, Al, this championship began a little tenuously with the injuries to Jill Trenery and the defending male champion Todd Eldridge, but it's turned out to be memorable from several standpoints. First of all, the committee selecting Eldridge, I think, was a very popular decision. We saw Christopher Bowman do a startling thing, skate a rather restrained program, which is like Madonna singing the Ave Maria straight. But I think the biggest thing, the one that gave this championship its character and personality, were our 3 women skaters. My, how different they are in styles and from what different backgrounds they come. We have the delicate wisp of beauty of Kamaguchi. We have the young Katharine Hepburn looks of Nancy Kerrigan, and the feisty, asthmatic, high school dropout, gallant Tonya Harding. They all got here by overcoming many obstacles, some of them financial, some of them others. But I think Tonya Harding put it best for all of them. If you have a dream, go for it. Not a particularly new philosophy, but my goodness, when you see it happen before your very eyes, it's magic. Al?
Thank you, Jack. And it did happen. It did happen for these 3. Let's meet the Olympians. Here's Julie.
Al, I am down here with quite a trio. And Christy, winning the Worlds had to give you great confidence coming here.
Well, I don't know. Actually, Nationals is usually the toughest competition of the year, even tougher than the World. So I was just happy with the performance.
Did you expect to win it, or was this a surprise to you?
After I skated, I was like, well, you know, hopefully it's good enough to hold on to the top spot. But I was just really happy to make the team.
Nancy, you've been bronze at the Worlds, bronze last year. Did you expect to place 2nd?
I don't know if I expected anything. I just was expecting to go out and skate how I've been training at home. I didn't, so I'm saving that for next time, I hope.
Tanya, I know this was a disappointing night for you. You've made the Olympic team, but was anything less than 1st and defending your title a disappointment to you?
Well, it's disappointing, but I'm just glad I made the team. I mean, as long as I made the team, that's all that matters. And I went out and did my best, and I guess that, you know, it was okay.
Well, this is the team that swept the World Championships. Hopefully you can do it again in Albertville. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Julie. It is not 1,000% official, just 999%. They still have to vote, but you can count on it. That's our Olympic team. We'll be back. States in the upcoming Winter Olympics. In pair skating, the team of Urbanski and Marvel, the team of Mino and Wendland, and the team of Kuchiki and Sand. The two ice dancing couples going to France, April Sargent Thomas and her partner Russ Witherby, along with Rachel Mayer and Peter Breen. The three men who are on their way to the Olympics, the national champion Christopher Bowman, along with Paul Wiley and Todd Eldridge. And the three ladies who won the spot tonight, Christy Yamaguchi, the national champion, along with Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. Now this is Al Michaels for Peggy Fleming, Dick Button, Jack Whitaker, and Julie Moran saying so long from the Orlando Arena in Orlando, Florida.
Tomorrow, ABC Sports heads to La Costa Country Club.